So we get to take a look at the new Canon EOS R today. So some of the cool features with this, understand there's an increased price in lens. So if you're going to buy the 24-105 kit with the L series, with these new lenses, they have a customizable high exposure ring, which you can basically customize in your functions to any settings you want. So you have your adjustable here, here, and the brand new touchpad, which lets you go back and forth. It's programmed with ISO right now, but it's basically you can either tap, which is like moving it one notch, or you can hold it and swipe, which brings it up a lot. So if you see it's on 1000 ISO right now and you swipe it, it goes to 800. Camera itself, shutter silent. The weight of this is very comparable to a Sony, very comparable to the other mirrorless on the market right now. Overall, like, very high quality build. I was a little hesitant on first due to the video, but it looks very crisp right now from what I can see. Actually really impressed with it. As far as some of the other, like, my favorite thing so far is the customizable in the settings, all the different buttons. So if you're an ISO shooter and you want to use this dial only, you can do that. You can set it to your shutter speed like it normally is. And you can also set this for your exposure, so you can underexpose it to stop, overexpose it to stop. As far as menu access goes, it's very similar to the old menu, such as I would compare it to the 5D Mark IV. Very similar. So you have your Q function if you hit your info, so you can program that in custom settings. So you have all of your autofocus points, you have your servo, you have your single focus, and another cool thing about focus, so this camera is designed so you can keep it up to your eye and have everything. So basically when you have it up to your eye, you can move around with this, you have your ISO controls, but on the screen you can actually move your focus point around while touching the screen or holding it up to your eye. So say you need to get a shot from the left, subject moves to the right and you're on center point focus, which is what I use a lot. You can do that without actually having to look down, pull up your viewfinder. Another cool thing, when you take off the lens, the mirror locks up so dust can't get in when you're changing the lens. So these are the mounts that the new lenses come with. So this is going to be your stock mount, which ships with everyone. It's basically, it will have the speed, it will have the autofocus points. It's a great mount. And then there's also another mount with the exposure ring for whatever. You can custom control this in your settings. So you can attach your L series lenses and still have the extra custom control ring, which ships with this lens or with this mount. And this is going to be a very useful feature when trying to hit all three of your settings in a short period of time, or if you're in a setting where stuff is changing often. This is going to help wonders. So I know another big thing was how well the converter works. Everything seems to be in tune with how, like, the L series lenses work on this camera. So your AF point, very quick. 2.5K autofocus points, it's really going to help. But if you're using the single focus point mode, it grabs focus right away. Yeah, overall I'm getting more and more impressed as I see this camera more. Alright, so the last feature is the FV function. So it's basically a combined aperture priority, shutter speed, and ISO. So FV, what it does is it puts it in full auto controls when you first set it on. And say you're on your full auto, shooting everything's fine, and you want to do a portrait shot or something. You want to change up something that you can't do with full auto or just an aperture. So what you would do is you'd move this dial, which lets you select. So say I want to select my f-stop. So I would move this dial, and that puts a little orange marker over the f-stop, and I can adjust it, and then I want to get off it, I just move the dial back, and then it's on full auto again. So this is going to be a really quick feature for people who are either like getting into using your manual controls. It will have you shooting in full auto until you're like, oh, I want to shoot at f1.8, so you get a new 50mm 1.8. This will allow you to kind of adjust like run through your f-stops like 1.8, 2.8, 4, while still having the full auto function to assist you along the way. And this is also really handy because your exposure comp, say you don't have this attachment, your exposure comp is still, it's also on this, so you have your 3 custom controls, and you also have your exposure comp. So if you want to change your exposure comp, you can do that quite easily with this FV feature as well. Alright, so another really cool feature for low light, you can take the camera down to -6 EV instead of your normal -3. So say you're looking for an autofocus point with your 50mm 1.2, you'll be able to grab that focus point without any like external lighting, much easier. So concert photography wise, this is going to beneficially help you. As far as Wi-Fi Bluetooth transferring, they've upgraded the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, so you can basically turn your camera off, remote connect with your phone to Bluetooth. So when you're on the Bluetooth setting in your phone, it basically uses low battery on the camera. I was told the battery doesn't drain a lot with this Bluetooth setting on. So say you shoot a bunch of photos for an event, you put your camera in your bag or you throw it on the airplane and you're like, oh shoot, I can't transfer them. You can have your camera off, pull up your phone, have them transferred to your phone, edit on either Adobe Lightroom on your phone or computer-wise. And then once you have that pulled up, Canon's also launching a new app which allows you to just set or kind of like edit your photos like a Lightroom would. But yeah, that's a really impressive feature. And you can also basically, when you do that feature, you hit it will pull up a setting on your phone. It's like, would you like to sync with Wi-Fi, and it will continuously save with your phone. So it's not like the 5D Mark IV where it will disconnect and then you reconnect it. So that's a tedious feature that I found on the Mark IV, even though it's a amazing camera still. This one definitely has features on it that will help in certain situations for events where you may not have a lot of time or you may not have enough adequate lighting to light your subject.